Regular expressions, you know them, you use them, they are one of the most powerful tools we have for wrangling text. But they hide a dark secret, a ticking time bomb that can literally bring your entire system to its knees. So yeah, let's dive right into that.
And no, that is not an exaggeration. One single, carefully crafted, or let's be honest, just poorly written regular expression can absolutely devour 100% of your CPU, locking up your application and sending it to a grinding halt. We're not just talking about syntax errors here. We're talking about production stability.
This vulnerability actually has a name. It's called ReDoS, which stands for Regular Expression Denial of Service. And it's a very real-world security threat. An attacker can feed your app a specific string that exploits a weakness in your regex, and poof, your service is offline. So the big question is, how does this even happen, right? How does a tool that's just meant for finding patterns in text spiral into this exponential nightmare? To really get that, we need to pop the hood and look inside the engine. So let's pull back the curtain on how Python's regex engine actually does its thing. Because the magic that makes it so powerful, well, that's also the source of its greatest danger. See, Python's re module is built on what's called a non-deterministic finite automata, or NFA, engine. Now, unlike its cousin, the DFA, an NFA engine is super flexible. It can handle all the complex stuff, lookarounds, back references, you name it. But that amazing flexibility comes at a price, and that price is called backtracking. So what even is backtracking? Okay, think of the regex engine like it's trying to solve a maze. It runs down one path as far as it can. If it hits a dead end, it doesn't just give up. Nope. It backtracks. It goes back to the last place it made a choice and tries a different path. This is fundamentally how it finds a match. And this is a perfect illustration. So we're trying to match A, B, C, D's star B against the string A, B, C, B, D. First, the engine sees the A, no problem. Then that greedy B, C, D star just gobbles up everything it possibly can, B, C, B. But now the pattern needs a final B, and we're at the end of the string. That's a failure. So it backtracks. The star gives back one character, the B, and now it only matches BC. From that new spot, it tries to match B again. And this time, success. The whole matches A, B, C, B. Seems pretty smart, right? But that little backtracking dance, that's where things can get ugly. But before we get to the catastrophe, we need to master the tools that actually give us control over this engine. You know, understanding these concepts is absolutely non-negotiable if you want to write regex that's both safe and efficient. Let's kick things off with quantifiers. By default, they're greedy. That means they match as much as they possibly can. So a pattern like anything.star will just grab everything from the first opening bracket all the way to the very last closing bracket in the string. But if you just add a little question mark, it becomes lazy, and it matches as little as possible. So anything.star question mark correctly stops at the first closing bracket it finds. The takeaway? Lazy quantifiers are your best friend for matching anything between delimiters. Next up, lookarounds. These are kind of wild. They're what we call zero-width assertions, which is a fancy way of saying they check for a pattern without actually consuming any characters. It's like peeking ahead or behind in the string to see if a condition is true. A positive look ahead, question mark plus foo, says, hey, only match if foo is right after this spot. A negative one says the opposite. The one crucial thing to remember with Python is that lookbehinds, the ones that look backward, have to match a pattern of a fixed width. And here's a quick pro tip that will save your sanity and the sanity of whoever has to read your code next. Stop using numbered capture groups like /1. Seriously, once your regex gets even a little complex, it's impossible to remember what group 7 was supposed to be. Use named groups with parentheses, pk, name, 3 dots. Your code becomes self-documenting and just infinitely easier to maintain. Okay, enough theory. Let's see how these tools actually solve real-world engineering problems that you probably deal with every single day. A classic, parsing server logs. An NGIX log line is really just a string, but it is packed with structured data. With a well-written regex using those named groups we just talked about for the IP, the method, the URL, we can instantly turn this wall of text into a clean, usable dictionary. This is exactly where regex is an absolute powerhouse. What about splitting strings? You know, re.split is way more powerful than the basic string method. Here's the trick. If you wrap your delimiter pattern inside a capturing group, the delimiters themselves are actually kept in the results. This is incredibly useful when you're tokenizing text, and the separators are just as important as the text itself. All right, we have seen the power. Now it's time to go back to the danger. With everything we know now about backtracking, we can finally dissect exactly how a ReDoS attack works. I'd like you to meet the evil Regex. This pattern right here, or some variation of it, has been behind countless production outages. The problem? Nested quantifiers. You've got a plus inside another plus, and they can both match the same character. This ambiguity is the poison pill. Now just watch what happens when we try to match this thing against a string of A's that doesn't end in a B. The outer plus tells the inner A plus group to go ahead, and it greedily eats all the A's. But then it fails to find the B at the end. Okay, so it backtracks. The A plus group gives up one A. Still no B. It backtracks again. But now the engine has a choice. How should it group all those A's? A, or maybe A. It has no choice but to try every single possible combination of partitioning that string of A's. This leads to a total combinatorial explosion. The number of paths the poor engine has to check grows exponentially with the length of the string. The complexity is O of 2 to the n. That means every single A you add to that malicious string can literally double the processing time. Your application freezes. This is catastrophic backtracking. For years, the only real solution was to just get really good at spotting these patterns and rewriting your regex. But as of Python 3.11, we finally have new, powerful tools built right into the RA module that let us diffuse these time bombs. Python 3.11 gave us atomic groups and possessive quantifiers. The idea behind them is simple, but it's absolutely revolutionary. They match a subpattern greedily, and then they lock in that match. They basically tell the engine, once you match this part, you are forbidden from ever backtracking into it. No takebacks. And just look at the difference. By simply wrapping that vulnerable A+ inside an atomic group $A+, we have completely eliminated the catastrophic backtracking. The engine matches all the A's, so locks it in, and then immediately fails when it can't find the B. The runtime plummets from seconds of 100% CPU usage down to microseconds. This is how you stop ReDoS in its tracks. So let's nail down the rules of thumb. First off, if a simple string method like .startsWith or .find can do the job, use it. Don't reach for regex. Always use raw strings to avoid a world of pain with backslashes. Be absolutely terrified of nested, ambiguous quantifiers. For your complex patterns, use verbose mode so you can add comments. And finally, if you're using a pattern inside a hot loop, pre-compile it. You'll get a nice little performance boost. And really, that's the whole story. Regular expressions are an incredibly sharp tool. In the hands of a developer who understands how the engine works, they can solve really complex problems with elegance. But without that understanding, you can cause some serious damage. And that brings me to a final thought for you. Now that you know what to look for, those nasty, nested, overlapping quantifiers, I want you to think about your own projects. Go on a hunt. What's the most dangerous regex you found hiding in your own codebase?